Page 491, Chapter 28. How often do you, human beings of Earth, make yourselves wrong pictures of words, because you do not understand them in their actual term and value, as is the case, for example, with the word truth, which you push into the abyss of your belief in a god, a tin god, or a human being whom you high stylize to an idol, or high stylize equals to make someone/something appear to be more important or better than he/she/it in reality is, or to make someone/something appear to be something that he/she/it in reality is not. You search for the truth in a religious, ideological, or philosophical belief, and do not understand the falseness of the belief, which has nothing whatsoever to do with the truth, which alone is given in the certainty and recognition of the reality. If you search for the truth without imposing any requirements, then you will find it only in the certainty and recognition of the reality, because only what corresponds to the reality is truth, but never a belief of any fashion, because it is in every wise always unreal, unsubstantial, and unprovable, in contrariety to the effective truth, which is based on provable reality. But you, human beings of Earth, you live in complete confusion, far from the truth of the creation and its laws and recommendations, hanging on to false belief forms in your thoughts, wherethrough you glorify invented godheads, tin gods, and human beings as idols. And you understand neither pictures of the term spiritual, nor the spirituality, nor the picture of the term spirit form. So you do not know that these pictures and terms are not identical with your consciousness, the evolution of which you should be consciously integrated into, which you, however, do not understand. Nor do you understand that you bring forth your ideas as well as your thoughts and the thereout resulting feelings through the consciousness, and not through the spirit, i.e., the spirit form that animates you. Your spirit, i.e., your spirit form that animates you, is of purely creational, energetical nature, and is only given to you to animate your consciousness and your body, whereas your material consciousness alone is that factor out of which you create your ideas and thoughts, etc., which on the contrary is not possible for your spirit, i.e., your spirit form. The spirit in you only integrates into itself the essence of the knowledge, i.e., the wisdom, created out of your consciousness, and evolves with it, whereas the consciousness evolves automatically through its activity of the researching and learning. But you do not understand these things and live in complete confusion because of the false teachings of the religions, ideologies, and philosophies. And this confusion shows itself in everything that you bring about through your consciousness, in terms of your ideas and thoughts and the feelings resulting out of them, as however also in all your activity and deeds. In your confusion you want to make the real truth to your helpful slave, which shall only serve for the benefit of you small knowing human beings of Earth, and bring you rescue when in hardship, although you have no idea what the truth really is, and that it only exists in the certainty in recognition of the reality, but not in any belief, as you assume in your evil, erroneous assumption. And the rescue which shall be brought to you through the truth, you make yourselves a wrong picture of this, which is why you expect requirementless help from it, and in doing so you exclude everything that belongs to the truth, such as the absolute reality, and everything that is included therein, such as the fairness, the true love, the peace, the freedom and harmony, the righteousness, responsibility, conscientiousness, and what is fair. Search in the words and terms for the true pictures, i.e., the true contents, and think for once about yourselves thoroughly, and illuminate and fathom your thoughts and feelings clearly and factually, without self-glossing over, in order to get to the true bottom of them, and to recognize and understand them. And if you do that, then you will have to realize that your entire thought and feeling world has never been based on anything else other than demanding wish fulfillments, as well as help and rescue, which you expect from your fabulated godheads, tin gods, and idolized human beings. Of course, you do not call your demands on your godheads, tin gods, and idolized human beings for help, rescue, and wishes by its true name, namely doggish, submissive, and beseeching begging, as this corresponds to the kind of your miseducated and misdriven inner nature. Instead, you describe your wrong volition and subservient begging as prayers and devotion in belief. You put on a small cloak of the mendaciousness, and at the same time of the submissive servitude. In so doing, you deny yourselves and also fall into hypocrisy, so that nothing good and sincere results out of this, because everything that you practice in your whole doing, even during your self-humiliating prayers and beggings to your godhead, your tin god, or your idolized human being, is full of unhonesty and full of terrible things. And all you amongst you human beings of earth, who go forth full of unfairness, truth unknowledgeness, therefore, however, full of belief in religions, ideologies, or philosophies, be finally true and honest toward yourselves, and indeed so deep-reachingly that you tremble at the recognition of what you have done throughout your life that was wrong and against the truth, and because of that have led a life of the ignominy. All those amongst you who are overbearing, self-willed, and unsatisfied in your belief, you are also hypocritical and superficial, and if affliction and hardship strike you, you wallow in self-pity and hope for the help from others, whereas you yourselves are without any real feelings for others when others are struck by affliction and hardship, because you think in the frame of your own skin being the closest to you, and that the others shall help themselves. Those amongst you human beings of earth who are overbearing, self-willed, and unsatisfied, you should ask yourselves what kind of human beings you are in the presence of the almightiness, sublimity, and harmony of the creation, which activates and directs for you, so that you have everything that you need for life, and that you can use as you like, which you, however, in your overbearingness and boastfulness, entirely take and use as an implicitness and without gratitude. You live in an unbelievably megalomaniacal conceitedness, and believe that you could create peace, freedom, and harmony amongst your humankind with the enforcement of your illogical and, with regard to the life, strange laws and ordinances that are made through your illogical kind of thinking. But your laws and ordinances are not in consonance with the creational laws and recommendations, and therefore bring, instead of love, regulation, peace, freedom, and harmony, only coercion, unfreedom, hatred, unpeace, and disharmony. So you do not try to obtain your volition for love, peace, freedom, and harmony through the truth of the creational laws and recommendations, not through intellect and rationality, and not through true discernment and logic, but instead through a wrong volition, an irresponsible cleverness, and pathological dumb mode of thinking. Through this, you look to gain advantages for yourselves with regard to positions, estimation, titles, goods and chattels and riches, and to achieve this you do everything and do not realize that in doing so you bring only disadvantage to yourselves, as well as to your next one and fellow human being, and even to your whole humankind. Everything weighs on you like a heavy burden, which you carry due to your own guilt, and which you cannot put down, as it also cannot be solved and abrogated through the law of the interaction because of your wrongdoing, unless you turn to the real truth, and through it are able to free yourselves therefrom, by changing yourselves in your volition, and indeed to the good, the best, and the right. Only if you change to the good, best, and right, and direct yourselves at this in upright volition, will you be saved from a fall into even deeper abysses than the ones into which you have already fallen. Only through your honest volition and endeavor can you tear away the impeding hindrances in you which have already for so long and so far unstoppably been crushing down upon you with all evil, and which have been letting you persist in consciousness indolence and conceitedness, wherethrough you have up to now been persisting in the reflecting on the evil, which is far away from the truth, and far from all the creational laws and recommendations. Put an end to your knowledge darkness, and let the evil, the unright, the unfairness, and unrighteousness, as well as the consciencelessness and irresponsibility break down in you. And let the true love, harmony, freedom, as well as the peace, become truth in you and in your whole humankind, so that you learn to live the true life in order to end your wars, your hatred, and your jealousy, as well as your crimes and all the other terrible things. Let all the terrible things on your world and in you break down and swing the word of the true love and the real truth in you and amongst all human beings upwards, so that it becomes victorious and resounds through the whole world, and that all can hear it, learn out of it, and live according to it. Consider, however, the requirement that every one amongst you human beings of earth must make his or her own efforts to recognize the truth and follow it, because only then, when every single one of you changes developmentally, can everything spread over the whole humankind and make it into a truthful oneness, from out of which all the terrible things through which you have been living since time immemorial, in wars and hatred, in jealousy, unpeace, unfreedom, crime, terror, as well as in disharmony, and many other terrible things, are jointly fought against and resolved. Do not doubtingly let the possibility pass you by to change everything to the good, the best, and right, by following the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life. That is to say, the quote, teaching of the prophets, the quote, Goblet of the Truth. However, if you do not bring forward the energy and power, and the intellect and the rationality in yourselves to follow the teaching, then everything that you undertake, for the love, freedom, and harmony, as well as for the peace, will be no avail to you, because you will continue to do the wrong things, and bring upon your world and yourselves war, hatred, terror, overpopulation, and every conceivable terrible thing, because due to your unintellect and your irrationality, you will never be in the situation of understanding that moment through which you can find the way to the truthly progress, as well as to the true love and love for the next one, to the freedom, harmony, and to the peace.